Hello and welcome to another Betfred Sports video right here in the Quest Media Network studio. Peter, we've got another Premier League fixture tonight. It's Crystal Palace hosting Brighton and Hove Albion. And Brighton, strangely enough, have the chance to go top. Strange events.
Well, I can't imagine that those who picked the matches for Monday Night Football would have thought this was so significant. But Brighton could actually go top of the Premier League. I mean, who would have thought of that?
Yeah.
They could get the 15 points and be ahead of Liverpool, United, City and everybody. Betfred have them 6-4 to win. Crystal Palace, who are at home, are 15-8. And the draw, possibly that could be the outcome because they are rivals when all said and done. Anyway, that's 2-1, the draw.
Brighton have had a great rise in recent years. Been in the Premier League for quite a while now, but it wasn't too long ago they were playing at the Withdean Stadium, the running track, they were in Division 1 at the time. Great rise for them, really.
It is. A lot's down to the manager, Potter. He's an excellent tactician. I know Guardiola thinks highly of him. And to stay up there with the big boys is pretty extraordinary. I mean, we have got the odds for them to actually win the league, which is 250-1.
Yeah.
And it's 251 for them to be relegated as well. But I do think they're proving that the little boys can be up there with the big lads at the top of the table. And long may it continue.
Absolutely. Love the unpredictability of the Premier League at the moment, and we'll just take a look now at the results from the weekend. So, Man City did travel down to London to take on Chelsea and they claimed a 1-0 victory. That was a massive result, but in Manchester United hosted Aston Villa and fell to a surprising 1-0 defeat. Contrasting fortunes for both sides. City, the much happier team.
Well, I thought that City went into that game without centre forward, which I've got a bit of a beaming bonnet about, but they proved that it was a battle between the two managers there, the two master tacticians of the Premier League, the big guns of the managerial state. They went head to head, and this time it was Guardiola who came out on top. I thought that City were up for it more. They were pressing harder. Chelsea looked a little bit on the heels. And City came out on top. It was one of the greatest goal. The first half was what they call in rugby league circles an arm wrestle, but the second half came alive, and City certainly deserved to win that game ahead of the Champions League huge game against PSG on Tuesday.
We were talking on last week's video of how important these games will be in terms of maybe the table come the end of the season, and for City to get that 1-0 victory against Chelsea, Champions League's winners from last season, that bodes well for them, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It certainly puts a marker down that they're in business this season and can do it without a centre forward. The test will come in the Champions League when they're up against some teams where they play in a similar sort of way. And City will definitely need the goals going in then because they do seem to take forever to actually score the goal.
Yeah.
With lots of brilliant approach play, of course, but it's getting it in the back of the onion bag that counts at the end of the day. As for United, well, that was a disastrous performance, and I noticed that there's a little bit of pressure now on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's future. Yeah. I don't see why, frankly, because they've only lost a game, a whole match, and they are riding high at the top of the table. They brought Ronaldo back. I thought it was good in one way from an Aston Villa point of view, how their keeper clearly realised there would be a discussion at the very least about who was going to take the penalties. And he pointed to Ronaldo and said, you should be taking this, which would have put in two minds for Bruno when he stepped up. I've better score now. And that was one horrendous penalty take. I won't say it. I mean, it's still coming down from all bit now. I've never seen such an appalling penalty. I mean, how a professional footballer can miss the target from that distance is incredible.
Something that quite annoyed me though over the weekend. I checked social media after the result and people are criticising Bruno Fernandes, but without him, where would Manchester United be? He's been the shining star in that side now. Unbelievable player, and it's unjustified, that criticism.
Yeah, but then again, you can't imagine a professional footballer missing the target so badly. I mean, he has scored something like 22 goals in the last 23 penalties he's taken. It is unforgivable, really, to miss the target. When they're on that kind of money, you just cannot get your head around it. I mean, in every park, I'm a referee, and I see that penalties are going to be taken and at least be on target.
Yeah.
I mean, it's incredible that he could miss that. You can't blame a bobble, you can't blame the mud. It's a perfect pitch. You'd expect him to score on that kind of money.
Well, I think it's unjustified criticism, but it could prove costly come the end of the season. Now, looking ahead to this week's Champions League fixtures on Tuesday night, we've got Manchester City travelling to Paris to take on Paris Saint-Germain. Peter, what are the odds looking like for this one?
Well, it is looking, that's a bit of a humdinger of a game, that, isn't it? PSG are 15-8 with Betfred, draws 12-5, City 5-4. So, got City's favourites there. Lionel Messi is the 7-2. He's favourite to score the first goal. Mbappe is 4-1. Neymar 9-2. I mean, you reel off these names. These are playing against Manchester City. And then Raheem Sterling is 11-2 shot, along with Torres 11-2. Jesus 6-1. Mahrez 6-1. Foden 13-2, along with De Bruyne and Grealish to score the first goal. So it is going to be the tie of the round, that PSG against City, and it will be a huge test for Guardiola.
Well, it's certainly got a little bit more glamour than the game that's taking place 24 hours later, because we've got Manchester United hosting Villarreal. Peter, again, what are the odds looking like?
Well, United are odds on for this one, despite the disappointment of the weekend. The 4-9 to win, draw 7-2, and Betfred out Villarreal 5-1. Ronaldo, he's 5-2 to score the first goal. Cavani, he's 3-1. Fernandez, your friend, 4-1. Anthony Martial 5-1, and Mason Greenwood, who I do think is an excellent player, although he could really have been a bit more better with his link play at the weekend. I thought there was a time when he could have passed rather than go himself, but you can't blame strikers for having a go. I mean, City could do with a player like him, quite frankly. And then for the outright top goal scorer in the league, Ronaldo, now he's probably going to be taking the penalties at United. He's shot in now at 9-4, and he's now favourite to be the outright top goal scorer, ahead of Lukaku 11-4. Betfred have Salah, who keeps popping him in for Liverpool, 3-1. Harry Kane, he's drifted out to 14-1. Vardy, who got 2 at the weekend, he's 16-1 now with Betfred to be the top goal scorer.
Harry Kane had a bit of a shocker against Arsenal yesterday, didn't they? I mean, you're looking at Tottenham. Is the pressure now mounting on their manager? I mean, he's only been there for a couple of months since the start of this season, but is the pressure mounting on him?
Well, you do about this, the idea that pressure should be mounted on a manager after so few games, but the fact is they haven't done as well as they'd expect, and I think the pressure should be more on the Tottenham manager than the United manager, frankly. But it is tough at the top, and these owners do expect victories, and they want them challenging at the top of the table. And if Tottenham start to drift away, and there's all this antagonism with Arsenal are ahead of them in the league now, for instance.
Well, I guess that's why they paid ridiculous money to manage these top clubs in England. So we'll take a look at the Betfred Super League now, because we know who the semi-finalists are. We've got Catalans taking on Hull KR, that's this Thursday, and then we've also got St Helens hosting Leeds Rhinos. Peter, got all the ingredients to be a crack of these.
Well, they have. The Catalans have just been reading that they're filling the stadium. There are 12,000 fans there when they host Hull KR. Hull KR came from nowhere. At one stage they were 40-1 to win the Betfred Super League Grand Final on October the 9th. They were now the 7-1 to win it. They are certainly the dark horses in this end of season finale. So Hull KR, they're playing at Catalans, as you say, and 7-1 to win the final outright. Catalans 5-2. Catalans still not favourites to win the tournament, even though they got the league leaders shield ahead of St Helens. St Helens, the holders, they're 4-5. They're the only team that's odds on to win the grand final. They host Leeds Rhinos on Friday. Leeds Rhinos 6-1. 3 of those teams play expansive rugby league. The one that doesn't is Leeds Rhinos. They basically are on a defensive strategy, and it'll be interesting, the clash between Leeds and the great Cavaliers at St Helens on Friday. That'll be the better game, I suspect. But they should be both be humdingers ahead of the final on October the 9th.
Yeah, and that's taking place at Manchester United's Old Trafford Stadium. That's the Betfred Super League Grand Final, Old Trafford, Saturday the 9th of October. Well, just before you go, Peter, I know that you've got a big winner at Betfred this week. Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, we have. We've got Alan Roberts from Castleford. He's an ex-trooper in the army. He was in the tank regiment. He's age 39, and he's won £92,000 for a total stake of £18. He had a lucky 31 accumulator on various horses, and he was telling me this morning when I interviewed him that he's going to use part of his money to get his dodgy teeth replaced. He said all through his life he's been bothered about his teeth, which are stained from what I can gather, and have gone rotten. And he's having them all replaced, and that's what he's going to spend his first tranche of his money on. Then he's going to go to Scarborough for his holidays, and he's going to thrash out what he's going to do with the rest of the money, which probably involve getting himself 2 caravans, which he's going to hire out. He wants to keep that revenue stream going. He said it's a life-changing amount of money, and he's dead chuffed to have won it.
Excellent stuff. Well, I hope he enjoys it. And like I always say on these Betfred videos, you've got to be in it to win it. So like I just said then, there's loads of upcoming fixtures in the Premier League, the Champions League and the Super League. So if you do fancy a punt on any of them, Betfred stores are now open, but you can also bet online and buy their app.